Dear EllaUnum, don't take this as a criticism or as a compliment. It's just something I was wondering for a very long time. That is, why upload a video of yourself on a weekly basis? Is there someone you can only reach via this path, or are the people you spend the most amount of time with not abundant enough to tell everything that is on your mind? Don't take this too personal. I could watch some videos and I wasn't totally revolted by your ego, narcissism, and somewhat misplaced self-confidence, which all other self-according, self-loving morons seem to be full of. My question to you is, why is it that someone like you, who in my opinion seems fairly smart, perceptive, critical, and funny, has to feel like she has important things to say that nobody else supposedly ever thought about? What do you get out of it when you spread your nitpick ideas or interpretations to all kinds of people you've never even met? Or is it that you really just like to look at yourself? And is this hobby of yours just a means of self-admiration? In this case, you should consider the thought of what kinds of people you want to attract to see your weekly update. As an empty message with a beautiful girl centered in the middle, or as a beautiful girl that is bored to death and as a result has to talk to herself all day long in order to let the world know she's alive. Both attract filth, except the second reason isn't one to be ashamed about, just the means you use to fight this boredom. Reason I sent you this question is because I knew that sending it to the other self-loving morons wouldn't get me an answer. I think you have a very rational train of thought which contradicts your actions. Seeing I blame this need for cyber self-portrayal to a lack of intelligence, or more specific, a lack of an accurate self-image. I hope my judgment of people was correct, and that I can expect a decent response from you. Again, no offense towards you, just have a serious question, and you fueled my interest. Have a good life. Well, while this message is, well, it's hate mail, but it is a big upgrade from the normal messages I get. You're hot. Can we Skype? Take off your shirt. You have a big nose. Do you think I don't know that? Like, I've been looking at myself in the mirror for 21 years. I guess first you need to understand why I make these videos. In high school, I was really sick. I was homebound, and after a couple of years of that, being isolated, and I mean I only left the house really to go to doctor's appointments. I had no friends and not a lot of people to talk to, and well, I went back to high school for a little bit, a little stint, and I found that I had forgotten how to communicate, like literally forgotten how to vocalize my thoughts. And well, I stumbled across this site called quarterlife.com, which no longer exists, but that was the first time I'd ever seen video blogging, and I started doing it just as a means of hearing myself. I tried to communicate my thoughts, and the videos I made were just for me, but coincidentally, other people saw them, and given Quarter Life was such a small community compared to YouTube, and the messages I got were more intelligible, way more intelligible than the ones I get on YouTube, but it was nice to say things without the expectation of anyone ever seeing them and getting responses and meeting people. So the funny thing about the internet is that we are capable of communicating with more people than we ever have in the past. More people that are like us, more people that share our interests, more people with similar personalities. Yet, because of that, we feel more and more alone. We're not special anymore, and you could definitely argue that that is why I make these videos, because I want to feel special. You could call it self-centered, and sure, you can. It is. Narcissistic, egotistical, I don't agree, but self-centered, yeah. It's healthy to think about oneself, to try and further one's knowledge. For me, I was always one of those people that didn't think about myself first for a long time. And doing this has kind of led me to know myself a little better. It's actually hard to talk to a camera. It's a little bit harder than it is to talk to a real person. It's just you. Now, as far as whether or not that's productive, I mean, no, it's not. But I spend, God, 80 hours a week being productive. I have at least 80 hours of homework a week. And in my free time, I don't always want to be productive. And some people draw, some people write. Well, I do both of those things. But for me, it used to be this. And I haven't done it in a long time, but it was fun. You obviously spend your free time writing messages to people on YouTube that you don't know, combing through their videos, analyzing them to the best of your ability, and occasionally tearing them down. And while I respect you for giving me something interesting to respond to and an argument, I find your pessimism a bigger waste of time than anything I could ever do. You waste a lot of energy like that. Relatively, I'm an optimistic person, but I like to consider myself a realist, and that might be naive. I just feel like emotionally I waste less energy being optimistic. And I know that people say that if you're a pessimist, then you're not let down as much. But I feel like you let yourself down just by thinking the worst all the time. I hope for the best. I don't know. I'm getting off subject. I never claimed to have an original idea. I don't think. I haven't watched my videos in a long time. I don't like to speak for the entire YouTube community either, but I think a lot of people make their videos and talk about their thoughts and observations because they hope that someone will watch it and go, I've thought that exact same thing, or, oh, I relate to this person and what they're doing, and maybe I'm not that weird or that goofy. Given some people do want credit, they do it for the credit, but it's on their delivery, not on their subject matter. Some people spend a lot of time doing this, and it's more than just a hobby. It's a passion. And you could call that unhealthy, or you could knock that, but passion is passion. I don't really know how to answer all of your questions. I have questions for you. I think you said something about my misplaced self-confidence, which I'm curious to know exactly what you meant. Either you think that I'm really pretty, or you think that I think that I'm really smart. I've never claimed to be either. I put myself out there. What can I say? I haven't looked at your page. I haven't seen your writing. I hate that it's like, would you have said this to my face? I know that's what a lot of people think. It's so easy to write something. I could have written this, but to be honest, it wouldn't have been as genuine. And it might have been meaner. I think that's it. Hopefully, you got something out of it.